Hey everyone, so I've got another one of BBC's programmes to talk about today, which is Jane Austen, The Unseen Portrait. And this I was very much looking forward to. If you've seen the review I did the other day of another Austen programme, I absolutely loved it and was really looking forward to this one. Was a bit worried that it wouldn't be as good as the other, but having watched this, I think it might actually be better in a way because I think it's more interesting and gives you a lot more to think about. Martha Kearney presents this. She's a radio presenter, she's great. And it focuses on a portrait that Dr. Paula Byrne has found, and this is basically the unseen portrait, if you like. It's something which is supposed to be Jane Austen, but it doesn't really look like the image that Cassandra sketched. There's that iconic sketch that Cassandra did of Jane, and from there we've had sort of every image has been cloned to look like that one. But it is said that the Jane's features in that portrait would have been softened a little bit to make her look a little bit more friendly and a little bit more stereotypically spinsterish. Don't know if that's a word. And this portrait, well, the whole programme is trying to find out whether this portrait could be genuine and looking, it gets taken to specialists and forensics and things to see if what it was drawn with would be the right materials for the time, if the clothes Jane's wearing, the clothes she's wearing is right for the time, and why a couple of things on it are perhaps not correct, and is it a red herring for us, or is it a deliberate mistake? It's very interesting. And her features are quite a lot more distinct than what they are in what we know to be the typical Jane Austen portrait. The main focus is on her nose. Her brother Henry did describe her as having quite a small nose, but we don't know whether that means small as in narrow, or small as in, like a little button nose. I definitely do not have a small nose. And the nose in this one is very, very prominent. It is quite a beaky nose, if you like, which is what her mother, Jane's mother, was known for having. And they actually got somebody who worked with criminals. That's a really rubbish way of describing it. But this person cut all of the noses out of these portraits, digitally of course, and line them up. And you have a look at all the Austen noses, and then you have this portrait nose, and they do look very similar. And there's a distinct sort of significance between the shape of them, and I think that's kind of interesting. Their eyes as well, although this portrait's eyes are slightly different, but I mean that doesn't mean anything. There's also, in the portrait, there's a picture of a building in the background. Now I won't tell you which building it is until you watch it, because it is part of the interesting part of the programme, is finding out all these key details and things. There is a lot to do with this, and it's very fascinating, and all the while, all the way through, it's an hour long, and every time you find out something, you're mentally going, ooh, that means that, or that could be that person. And I'll be honest, I think it is a picture of Jane Austen. It does go, I think a lot of people will be unwilling to look at it as a portrait, or willing to just dismiss it completely, because it does go against a lot of what we know to be stereotypical of Jane's personality, of being, homely and soft and caring in nature, and, just a typical spinster with a small frame, small figure, small nose. Now, just because she may have a larger nose does not mean that her personality was not caring and loving, but, that's just generally the connotations you get from such a thing. At the very end, Dr. Paula takes it to 3 specialists. She has to pitch that to them and try and get them to win around their views. I won't tell you whether they thought it was or not, but one of the women was really doing my head in, and I was like, please stop being so closed-minded. She irritated me a lot. She was like, no, dismissing it completely. She did annoy me, but I won't tell you what the other 2 thought. Personally, I do think it could be Austen. Everything we were told in the programme adds up. We got to go inside John Murray Publishing House. I was like, oh wow! I really, really want to go inside that building. It's in London. John Murray was the publisher for Austen, for Byron, for other people. I can't remember names off the top of my head. I really want to go there. That was really exciting. They also looked at how on her checks, initially it was actually Austen with an I, and on the back of the portrait, the signature on the back does say, I think, is it Miss Jane Austen or just Jane Austen with an I? And they were like, well, who would draw this? And it makes you sort of think, well, who would draw this picture? Would Jane actually sit for a portrait? Would her family consider her important enough? It's very interesting. And you may think, how can an entire programme just looking at what could be a picture of Jane Austen be interesting? I promise you, it very much is. It's not highly biographical, you're not being told everything about her, you're not told, in fact I don't even think they ever mention any of the name of her books, which is a bit weird. But you're not told much about her work and, the successes she has. It is specifically looking at this picture and whether it fits in with the time. And I find that highly fascinating and very unique compared to other Austen programmes. You know, they're not all going around saying, oh my goodness, look how fantastic she was, isn't she great? I mean, there is a lot of support and sort of love for her there, but it's a lot more detailed than just, oh, we love her, let's gaze at pictures of her. It is very highly fascinating, and I do definitely recommend that you check it out. As I said, it's on iPlayer. I actually have 1.5 pages of really quick scribbles as I was watching it. I was write that down. I will be doing a written review of this as well. I don't do written reviews of everything unless the programme I absolutely love. This one I very much did love, so go and check it out. You will love it. I'll put correct links in the below bar to the official Jane Portrait Twitter page and things. That is it for just now. Let me know your thoughts, and if you go and see the picture, let me know your personal views of whether you think it could be her, or if you think there's anything about it which is just, no, not happening. But I do really think that it could be Austen. But let me know your thoughts, and that's it for just now, so I'll see you all next time. Bye!